In the courtroom, Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson read aloud a message that music mogul Diddy allegedly sent to Cassie Ventura after a reported incident at a hotel in 2016. The message was part of the evidence presented during the proceedings.
Nearly every celebrity in the world has been to his homes or has been to his events.
But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
There were more than 100 people at that party, including at least 4 celebrities. But what you're talking about now was a threesome, and that's something that the U.S. Attorney even referenced.
Diddy's bail has just been denied after Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson revealed text messages he'd allegedly sent to Cassie. The situation continues to worsen, with new claims surfacing about Diddy's abuse of minors and even accusations of blackmailing U.S. presidents. What exactly did Diddy say to Cassie, and why is he allegedly trying to silence the victims? Stay with us as we uncover more details and take a closer look at the troubling events behind the scenes in one of the darkest sexual abuse cases.
Report that Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson read out loud the text that Diddy reportedly sent to Cassie Ventura after an altercation in a hotel in 2016. She references security video of the event that went public, showing Diddy hitting his then-girlfriend in a hotel hallway. The text from Diddy at the time read, quote, "Call me, the cops are here. I got 6 kids. Yo, please call, I'm surrounded. You gonna abandon me all alone?" The Assistant U.S. Attorney argues in court that, quote, the defendant knew he had done something that could elicit police response.
After a video surfaced showing Diddy allegedly assaulting his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, the music mogul released an apology video admitting to the assault and expressing regret. The text messages in question were sent after the incident, following a visit from the police to his door.
Difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom. But I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, go into rehab. I had to ask God for His mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Arrests have begun in connection to the sex trafficking ring allegedly operated by Diddy, along with former Abercrombie & Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries, a multi-millionaire now heading to prison. Those close to Diddy are growing increasingly nervous about their involvement. Reports suggest that Ashton Kutcher is preparing to testify, while Ellen DeGeneres has reportedly fled to England. What were these celebrities involved in that was so alarming they felt the need to run? And will all of this soon come to light?
Every celebrity in the world has been to his homes or has been to his events.
Stop by. It's an invitation to all of America. I'm only joking. No, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Just because you've been to Diddy's home or been to his parties does not mean that you are complicit in criminal activity. Now, does it mean that we may see celebrities come up on video footage from his home or in photos? All that evidence you would imagine will be presented in court if and when there is a trial. It's that question of everyone knew, but what did they know? And, with Diddy, here's what I have pointed out, what I'll say. Not a single celebrity has come out to defend Diddy. Not one.
Combs has pleaded not guilty. And now we're learning more details about the raid that went down here at Diddy's 17,000 square foot, $61.5 million mansion. Prosecutors revealed they actually found 6 guns in his California and
The disturbing details of Diddy's abuse are finally emerging, revealing not only his mistreatment of minors, but also the harm he allegedly inflicted on his own family. With each new revelation, the stories grow more shocking, including rumors that Diddy may have been grooming his own son. There is also video evidence of Diddy sexually abusing minors, now in the hands of the FBI, signaling that time may be running out for him. Additionally, allegations have surfaced about Mike Jeff, a man reportedly controlling an international sex trafficking ring who allegedly used
boss of the fashion giant Abercrombie & Fitch and his British partner have been arrested on charges of running a prostitution and international sex trafficking business following a 2-year-long BBC investigation. The FBI began looking into the claims that Mike Jeffries and his partner Matthew Smith sexually exploited and abused men at events they hosted in their New York residences and hotels around the world. Lawyers for both men and a third man who's been arrested have previously denied any wrongdoing. They'll appear in court on Friday. Brianna Croxford broke the story that led to the FBI's initial investigation. Here's her report.
Mike Jeffries, the mogul behind a global fashion brand. His vision made billions for Abercrombie & Fitch. He's now facing criminal charges.
To anyone who thinks they can exploit and coerce others by using the so-called casting couch system, this case should serve as a warning. Prepare to trade that couch for a bed in federal prison.
They began their own investigation. This morning, the FBI arrested the former fashion boss and his British partner in Florida. Evidence gathered by the BBC found there was a highly organised operation involving this middleman, James Jacobson, now also arrested. In the past few months, I've spoken with more men who attended these events, 20 in total. Some told me they were tricked and abused, others that they were injected with drugs. A lawyer for Mr. Jeffries told the BBC, "We will respond in detail to the allegations after the indictment is unsealed and when appropriate, but plan to do so in the courthouse, not the media." Tonight, Mike Jeffries was released on bail. If convicted, he and the others accused could face life in.
The richest man on the planet has also discussed how some of the biggest names in the world are connected to Diddy. Despite overwhelming evidence against him, many celebrities continue to support Diddy, suggesting that if he faces consequences, others might too. In a recent episode of Asterisk, The Joe Rogan Experience Asterisk, Elon Musk raised concerns about Diddy's ties to Kamala Harris, calling them suspicious and suggesting that they should be thoroughly investigated. This has added more fuel to the fire. With many one day, more and more evidence is surfacing against Diddy. At least 9 verified tapes have now been handed over to the FBI. Courtney Burgess is one of the individuals responsible for providing these tapes as part of a federal investigation. Allegedly, the tapes were given to him by Diddy's ex-wife, Kim Porter. Courtney even claims that the flash drives he has handed over to the FBI contain written confessions from Kim Porter, in which she reportedly admitted to witnessing Diddy's illegal actions. These statements are said to detail what she saw and heard during their relationship.
Statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be,
me rephrase
right,
it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah.
meaning this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly.
Other tapes currently in the possession of TMZ have also come to light. Harvey Levin, the head producer at TMZ, has claimed to have seen these tapes, which reportedly showed Diddy abusing minors. Diddy's former party planner, TAA Wallace, has also come forward as a witness, confirming the allegations. It seems that everyone who was once close to Diddy is now turning on him, likely because they realize that he can't escape the consequences any longer. For many, this may be their best chance to distance themselves from him and avoid being caught up in the fallout.
Start with Tania Wallace, who claims she's been at a freak-off and said she saw children, and it was hard for her to say it.
It was very hard for her to say it, Ashley. So what she said was that she was flown out from LA to Miami by the Saudi prince. And they ended up eventually on Star Island at one of Diddy's parties. She says, you know, among many other things, I mean, she goes into detail. This, she says, happened in 2018. She says that she walked into the house and there was a cluster of adults around what she described as little people. And they were dressed up as Japanese Barbies. I forgot the name. It's Harak something. You can help me out here. It's a certain type of Barbie. Anyway.
I know the name, but I've forgotten it. But go ahead.
So she explained that that they were just clustered around these little people, and I kept pushing her, and she eventually said, look, they are little people who should not be at an adult party. And I pushed her, and it was apparent what she was saying is they were minors. Now, she didn't see anything specific that was going on with them other than that adults were kind of huddled around them. But she told just a wild story about what was going on at the house. Even at 7 in the morning, that this thing apparently raged all night long.
You know, it's amazing. TMZ always gets such great scoops, and this one might be one of your best as well. You got a hold of one of the freak-off tapes. Your producers have seen it. The description is, and I'll quote, it's directed by
Harvey Levin and upper management at TMZ have reportedly handed over a tape they discovered to the FBI. Allegedly, this tape contains footage of a threesome involving minors who are now A-list celebrities. One name that keeps appearing in discussions about Diddy and the abuse of minors is Justin Bieber. Courtney Burgess has reportedly confirmed that Bieber is among Diddy's victims, adding a troubling layer to the ongoing investigation.
It really sort of walks through what happened in the experiences that he had. They didn't sound illegal, but they sure seem to comport with a lot of the other stories that have been told.
Yeah, so the this was a threesome. What you would ask me about earlier about Tania Wallace, she said there were more than 100 people at that party, including at least 4 celebrities. But this, what you're talking about now, was a threesome, and that's something that the U.S. attorney even referenced. And his lawyer in an earlier documentary we did, he was describing threesomes. He says it was all consensual. So yes, what we're told is that this male sex worker was flown out to various locations over a couple of years, Miami, New York, Los Angeles, and one other. And they would meet in hotel rooms, and Diddy would often watch as he would have sex with this woman who was associated with Diddy. So that seems to be what the feds are looking at right now in terms of alleged sex trafficking, if they are transporting somebody and perhaps paying them to cross state lines. That could end up being part of sex trafficking. Now, we know that this guy got a subpoena and he ended up not testifying before the grand jury, but talking to prosecutors, and we're told that he left that tape with them.
And in fact, if he was transported, if he was even consensual in that setup, you're right, that is sex trafficking. It's classic federal crime to cross state lines for the purpose of selling sex. But it also comports just with the description of many of the other incidents that did sound illegal, where there was, you know, heavy...
Name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, you know, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, you know, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits. It may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public, and when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some